I want to give you guys an update video of all the stuff that's been going on. I've been kind of out of it for the past week just because I've been collecting some parts. So here in a second, I'm going to go over a bunch of parts that I've ordered for the truck. Stuff that's come in, stuff that we're waiting on, some stuff that we found out that we're going to have to go get fixed, or we're going to fix it ourselves. Ended up finding a parts truck, pulled parts off that. And I'm going to give you an update on something that I found as I was tearing stuff apart. And the engine ended up going down a different route, so I'm going to update everyone on that. So let's go ahead and dive into it real fast. I'm going to show you the stuff that I got. So first thing is first, here is a new flex plate. I don't need this one anymore. What I need is this guy, because I need these bolt holes, 1, 2, 3. I need this adapter plate to work on this torque converter. Ended up talking to a couple guys locally. A friend of mine recommended this other gentleman, and he got me the right torque converter that I need. So this thing should hold up, no problem. As of right now, I'm not going anything crazy on horsepower. I will be in the future. We're gonna go over that far down the line. What I need to do is get this truck running first because I need this as an actual working truck. And with all the parts that I have, this should hopefully, by the time my other stuff gets here, we'll go over here in a minute, this thing should start slapping itself together and get back on the road, hopefully sooner rather than later. And then here's the adapter for the torque converter for the LS, and then all the hardware that comes with it. But the reason I need these 3 holes is because of these 3 holes. 1, 2, and then the third one down there. That's why I need the 3, so that could all go together. Bam. Also, not that it's gonna hurt it or keep it from running, but I also got the new headlight trim. Nice factory chrome ones. They're not cheap plastic ones because I was missing the driver's side. Found a set locally for like 40 bucks. That's not bad. So that is good. So I don't have to try and find one of those. And here's the big one. This is the one that I was kind of stressing about. Not really, but if I'm gonna be bagging this thing eventually, I don't wanna have to run a one-piece drive shaft because it's gonna go into the body. So I found one of those, and it even has the carrier on it. The carrier is still good, but I might replace it. But there's a drive shaft, I've already mocked it up. That does go on the rear end. And the spacing from the rear axle to the carrier bearing is the same. And from the carrier bearing forward, I don't know where that yoke is gonna sit yet because I don't have the transmission in there. Which brings me to my next thing, the transmission. Now this transmission, I'd hardly paid anything for. I think I ended up basically paying what a core charge would be for a transmission. But since I paid so little for it, the person I bought it from did not have any history on it. They didn't know where it came from or how they pretty much acquired it. But all I do know is there was a handful of water in here. I would probably say a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of water was in the bottom of the pan, which means there's actually some corrosion on the valve body. I'll be taking it closer and show you what I'm talking about. So there is all this mess in there. Here is the valve body. And let me see if I can throw a flashlight on there and show you guys something that I see inside this transmission, which is no good, but got something in store. I don't know if you can see down in there. You can actually see there's a little bit of corrosion in there. It's not too bad. It looks worse with the flashlight. The nice part is everything has a coating of oil already on it. So a lot of this corrosion, like let's see right here, it just wipes off. And then over here on your selector gear, a lot of it just wipes right off. So I think I might have gotten lucky, but that does bring me to my next point. Turn off flashlight. That does bring up the next point, which is I bought a 700 R4 rebuild kit. I bought a Transgo shift kit. And I also bought, what else did I buy for it? Oh yeah, I also bought the lockup valve body for 4th gear lockup. The nice part about 700 R4 transmissions is here's your 4th gear lockup. So you actually just need to replace the valve body in there. I don't really need to worry about the electronics or do anything electronic related to get the 4th gear lockup. I've got an option since this is a early 30 spline. I have that option. Correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I did end up ordering it. I'll show you guys the kit as soon as that stuff arrives. But I got the Monster Transmission Level 2 rebuild kit, the Transgo shift kit, and 4th gear lockup for the torque converter. So we are gonna dive deep into transmission. We're gonna go ahead and rebuild that ourselves. That should probably save us $1,000 doing it ourselves. And that is the last thing that we're waiting on. Once this thing is fully rebuilt, which is gonna take up all the room on this bench, I'm gonna end up using those 2 benches over there, slide them over here, push this thing out of the way, because I need as much room as I can, because that thing, when it gets torn apart, takes up a whole mess of room. But nobody I really know locally, except for Transmission Shop, can rebuild them, so I want to dive into it myself. So if I ever need to tear into this thing, once we start throwing bigger horsepower at this, we can actually upgrade the clutch packs, the second gear band. We can actually throw some better parts at this. I want to be able to do that myself because I don't want to pay a shop to do all that. Automatic transmissions scare a lot of people. I've done a lot of research, and diving into it's really not that big of a deal for me. The key is keeping things in order and also keeping things clean. There was a couple tools I had to order, so when those come in, I'll show those to you guys before we start diving into it. So it's a little bittersweet. I did almost pay nothing for it, but there was some corrosion in here, and that's the only downside to that. It is what it is. I'm not gonna complain about it. Now I'm gonna learn how to work on automatic transmissions. Oh, also another thing, the headlight harness. I did not have the headlight harness on here because it has been cut right there. Whoever took the original motor out of here had to cut the harness. I'm not gonna blame them because I probably would have done the same thing in a hurry. Okay, that brings me up to the next point about the 4.8. I am not running the 4.8. I'm gonna retract my statement. I know I said I was going to because I know that motor is good and 100% ready to go, but I will tell you why I'm not running it. I have a perfectly good 5.3 sitting right here with all of my Holley stuff on here. Here it is. These are for the injectors. The water pump is already on there. Here's my battery cables. My steam line is ready to go for the heater core. That is for my clutch line. I don't need that. Engine temp sensor for Holley. Oil pressure sensor for Holley. So for me to put all that stuff on there, get new gaskets, get new seals, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna throw that in there because I ran Holley on that and it's ready to go because I want this on the road as fast as possible. I'm tired of seeing it in this state and I need to get it back on the road. Plus, it is a little bit more displacement. Not that a 4.8 and a 5.3 are really that big of a jump. Honestly, 5.3 to 6.0 isn't even that big of a jump either. A lot of people think that if you have a 6.0, you have all the horsepower in the world. It's really not too much more, especially for the money that you pay for a 6 liter. To me, I can't really justify that when you can still find a 4.8 or 5.3 for under $1,000. So that is a quick update on everything. What do we have? Torque converter, bolts, adapter, flex plate for the adapter, drive shaft, new headlight trim, headlight harness. We've got the other motor over there. The Holley system is upstairs. Transmission and the rebuild kit. That is probably going to be a 2-part episode. The first part might be a disassembly. Second part might be reassembly. And also something else, last but not least, not like it really matters much, is this rear axle that I picked up. Yes, it's for a C10. Yes, it's a 5-lug. This I'm thinking I'm probably not going to run that only because the only wheels and tires I want to get for this, technically the only wheels I want to get for this is I want poverty caps on here. I want to run hubcaps, bag it, lay it on the ground. I don't want fancy wheels. I don't care about the bolt pattern. I'm probably going to end up powder coating those wheels white and then throwing some hubcaps on there. But what I'm going to do is I want to figure out what gear ratio this is. I want to figure out what gear ratio is actually in the truck. Then I'll do my calculations, figure out which gear ratio is better for what I want to do. And then I'm gonna decide my route on that. So it sounds like a lot. The big one is that transmission. Once I have that transmission rebuilt and in the truck, we can measure for the drive shaft to get the drive shaft made and then slap everything else together. I'm gonna run the S10, which is technically a C4 radiator in this truck to hopefully save some money. The only thing we need to do is go to a junkyard. Actually, we may not need, oh, wait, we do need to go to a junkyard because we've got to get a power steering pump because the power steering pump went with the S10. I should have removed it. I didn't, my fault. And then this baby should be pretty much well back together. All right, guys, that's a quick update. Sorry, this is a quick video. I want to give you guys a weekly, midweek update on what was going on. I know I'm dropping big episodes every other week. I might start doing weekly episodes to give you guys updates of what's been going on. A lot of times I'm just waiting for parts to come in, especially on this one. This is just a quick slap and dirty get together truck. And this has been in the shop for about a month and a half now. Now I'm actually starting to get a bunch of parts for it. So hopefully this is done soon. And I have a couple people asking about the Riviera. That's not going anywhere. That's gonna get built, but I need to get this thing done. So, all right guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have fun, enjoy the weather, starting to warm up out there. We just got another snowstorm here in Idaho, so hopefully it's over with. Usually every March we get 1 or 2 snowstorms. We should be just about done with that. All right guys, catch you guys in the next one. Take care, see ya.